I was just doing it by faith. I didn't know how long I was going to podcast. I didn't know the journey God would have me on. This podcast has gone through a couple of name changes and just a couple of, I don't want to say full formatting changes, but kind of, how I wanted to shape each episode and how I wanted to pour into the community. Each step of the way, I've been led by God, and it's just been so neat to see not just the growth of the community, not just the growth of the podcast, but my own growth in this podcasting journey. Welcome back to the More in Your Morning Show with me, your host, April Nicole Scipio, the More Coach. Always a pleasure to have you hang out with me on the podcast. Let me welcome you. If you are brand new to the podcast, what a great day to get connected, not just to the podcast, but to our entire community. We are the Live Lovely community. We are a group of purpose-driven women. We are living Christ-centered lives. And let me tell you guys, I'm so pumped about this episode today. I am going to be sharing just some of the biggest lessons I've learned here in 2024. I hope it encourages you. I hope you are inspired to reflect on the lessons that you have learned, because that is an opportunity for us to start the year stronger than we finished the year, right? We're finishing strong, but now if we take the lessons that we've learned and apply it, what's going to happen? We are starting the year a step up. So listen, this is our step up year. Let me just say that. Maybe you need to grab that for yourself today. This is your step up year. This is your year where you are walking into every single thing that God has for you. You are leaving nothing undone. Come on, somebody. I'm pumped about this. So I was sitting here thinking right before recording this podcast that here at the time of this podcast being published, I am finishing up year 6 of podcasting. And that is just a testimony to the faithfulness of God, you guys. When I started my podcasting journey in 2019, I was just doing it by faith. I didn't know how long I was going to podcast. I didn't know the journey God would have me on. This podcast has gone through a couple of name changes and just a couple of, I don't want to say full formatting changes, but kind of, how I wanted to shape each episode and how I wanted to pour into the community. Each step of the way, I've been led by God, and it's just been so neat to see not just the growth of the community, not just the growth of the podcast, but my own growth in this podcasting journey. And so I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on this journey with me. Huge shout out to the Live Lovely community. I mean, you guys are amazing. The way that you engage and the feedback that I get, how you respond to emails, how you're, I'm in the chat with you all. You guys are just amazing. And I just want to say thank you. I literally am so honored to do life with you. If you are just joining the community today, I want you to be ready for an amazing year. As we step into 2025, I just really believe like God is going to put us in awe even more so of who He is. And He's going to show Himself strong in our lives. And so just be encouraged by that. Just be encouraged. I want to share with you today, like I said, just some lessons I've learned this year. And, lessons come when you celebrate things, but then lessons also come when you walk through hard things. And we have to embrace both, right? Like we recognize in this world, we're going to have trouble. I wish I could skip that verse, but it's the reality of it because we live in a fallen world. But I'm so thankful that through the times that are great and celebratory and through the times that are hard, like in all of that, God remains faithful and He gives us opportunities to grow in our knowledge of Him, grow in the grace that we walk in, and then just grow in other areas of our lives where He needs us to grow up so we can fulfill the purpose that He has for our lives. So the first lesson I want to share with you is the power of daily renewal. I just want to emphasize that word daily, you guys. Lamentations 3:22 and 23, it says, "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. God is so faithful. In this year, I've really had to embrace a new way of rest. I had to really embrace this journey of letting God renew me every single day. So, yes, I'm taking moments of rest and seasons of rest, but I need to wake up every day expecting God to renew me. That every day I'm not having to serve my community or fulfill purpose based on the strength of yesterday, based on the mercies and compassions and the faithfulness of yesterday. Like, God is faithful today. Grab that for yourself today. God is faithful today. And then when we wake up, God's going to be faithful that day and the next day and the next day. And so I want to encourage you, in your morning routine, have you prioritize time for you to be renewed daily. What does that look like for you? For me, my daily renewal is spending time with the Lord and His Word. My daily renewal comes from exercising and moving my body. My daily renewal comes from worship and prayer. Like, these are things I've incorporated inside of my daily routine, and it allows me to be renewed. And so now I'm not pouring from an empty cup. I'm pouring from this place of overflow. And there's so much power that happens when you pour from a place of overflow. So listen, we need daily renewal. I have learned that. Another lesson that I've learned is the importance of community. And I know you're like, April, yeah, of course you talk about community all the time. Yes, that is true. But God just gave me a renewed sense of that this year that I'm just so grateful for. Hebrews 10:24 and 25. It says, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. This year, I have really been so thankful for all the ways God has allowed me to build community. I've been able to have local gatherings at a coffee shop in my community. I've been able to build community online. If you haven't joined that online space, I invite you to join that. It's like our little hub of inspiration. I've been able to build community this year by hosting a retreat. I held the very first Live, Love, Lead retreat this year, and the community that was built from that was absolutely amazing. Just praying with these women and getting in the Word with these women and encouraging these women, it meant so much to me. And now, as I'm looking ahead, I have to continue to speak community, right? Some of you are like, girl, you speak about it all the time. Well, listen, you're going to hear me speak about it even more because God is just showing me the strength that we have in numbers. That if I'm going through something personal, I'm struggling, or I need a breakthrough, man, the support of the community speaks volumes. We were not meant to do life alone. Not meant to do life alone. I'm telling you, you are going to need your people. You need people more today than you needed yesterday, because the world's crazier today than it was yesterday. I'm just saying. Another lesson that I learned was embracing change with faith. Isaiah 43:19, it says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. There are a lot of new things that God did in me this year. And I had to embrace that change with faith. There were changes that I made in my personal life regarding the nutrition that I take in. I changed my diet, so to speak, things I eat and don't eat. I had to embrace that change with faith. There's some changes that I had to make in how I structured my business. I had to embrace that with faith, right? I had to say, okay, God, you see the end from the beginning. What changes are you wanting me to make? And along the way, God has given me these little changes along the way. And now I look back and I see I embraced every single one of them with faith. When we embrace change with faith, it allows us to see our lives through a lens of expectation. And God's like, listen, tweak that, pivot here, change this, and trust me. Oh, the trust part. Because me embracing change with faith means I am trusting in God's plan and his timing over my own. And then I'm allowing God to really shape me and help me to become the person I was created to be so that I can do what I have been called to do. And I'm telling you, sometimes we get so comfortable with things and things are going well. That's the kicker for me. It's like, when things are not going well and God's like, change this. I'm like, okay, yes, gladly. Here we go. But man, God has stretched me this year and I've had to change things, even though the thing wasn't going bad. The thing is going well, but yet God's saying, shift this. And so it's me having to trust that he has better for me. That takes faith. The fourth lesson I have learned this year is just this impact of generosity. 2 Corinthians 9, 6 and 7. It says, remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. I'm so thankful. I was unexpectedly blessed in so many different ways this year. And that really impacted me, right? It's like I'm definitely looking for ways to pour into people and be generous to people. But when you're on the receiving end of that, it's very humbling. And also you just have this level of gratitude, like, wow, God, like you didn't have to do that, but you did. I've had unexpected things sent to me. I've had unexpected financial seeds sown into my life. I have had unexpectedly people show up to support me in things that totally shocked me. I reflect on all these things and I'm like, man, Lord, there have been so many people this year who have been so generous to me, not just financially, but with their time, with their listening ear, praying for me, giving me support. And I'm just so like that has impacted me this year. And it makes me want to do that even more for other people. So I'm excited about this year, 2025. I am stepping up my generosity game, so to speak, right? I just want to be even more of a giver than I was this year because I recognize the impact firsthand of what that can have on someone. I want to share one final lesson, and that is finding strength in surrender. God has really helped me this year to surrender things to him. Surrender my life once again, right? My life is not my own. I've had to learn how to die to self yet again this year. So I've had to surrender myself. I'm surrendering my kids. This year I had my first experience of a child going off to college. Woo, that was like a whole thing of surrender, just trusting him even more with my kids. I had to re-surrender my marriage, right? I said, God, I want to be a better wife. I want to be a wife that reflects the love of God in a more powerful way. And I said, God, begin to show me the places and spaces of my heart that need to be changed and tweaked. And God began to show me. And then I began to do those things. And I began to see like just so many good things transpire in my marriage. And then God challenged me to pray for other marriages. That was just such a powerful season for me this year. Another thing, God's like, surrender your business to me yet again. Trust me with this. Resurrender your finances to me yet again. Like these areas of my life where I'm like, yes, God, I surrender myself. Yes, Lord, I surrender my marriage. Yes, Lord, I surrender my business. I surrender my finances to you. I surrender my kids. God's like, okay, now do it again. Now do it again and again and again and again. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. that submission piece. I'm so thankful that this year I'm finding strength in surrendering to the Lord and fully being submitted to Him. I'm so thankful for that. And I'm excited to see what I'm going to experience in 2025 because I'm going to continue to re-surrender every area of my life to Him. And the more I surrender to Him, the more I'm out of the way, the less of me is all in the situation and more of God. So I'm like, God, how do I get more of you in every area of my life? God's like, you want more of me? Has to be less of you. And that means more surrender. I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that. I want to encourage you to do some reflecting. What has God done in your life this year? How has He shaped your heart? What is He speaking to you even now? I'm just so excited about this journey that we're on as a community where we are truly living Christ-centered lives. I want you to know that I have so much expectation for this community for next year, not just collectively, but for our individual lives. I'm excited about how God is going to allow me to serve you all. I'm excited to bring more faith-based inspirational content to help you experience the more God has for your life. I'm excited to cultivate even stronger relationships inside of our online space where we can continue like conversations that I start online, like these big social platforms. I can continue the conversation in this more intimate space and support you all daily. I'm excited because I believe this year is going to be filled with faith, filled with growth, filled with community, filled with authenticity, filled with productivity. Those are the values of our community. And this new year, as we step in, we're going to be filled with more of those values. I'm excited about that. Listen, I love you with the love of Christ. Maybe you've been kind of just hanging out on the sidelines this year as far as, this community. I want to encourage you, man. It's time to go all in. Jump in this thing with us. God has so much more planned for you. Get connected. Get connected. Here's the way you can get connected this week. This week, I am hosting How to Dream with God virtual workshop. I want you to be there. I want you to go to the link in the show notes of this episode. I want you to go to my website and I want you to get registered. I'm excited about what God is going to allow me to share because we are going to start off this year dreaming with Him. We're not going to come up with our own plans, our own vision, what we think we should be doing. No, we're going to say, God, what do you have for me this year? And so get registered for that. Oh, I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. I love you all with the love of Christ. Thanks for hanging out with me. Subscribe to the podcast so you do not miss an episode. And share this with a friend. Share this on your socials and tag me at April Nicole Scip. And I will see you in 2025 here on the podcast. Have an amazing, amazing new year. And I can't wait to hang out soon. Be blessed. Love you guys.